Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So I have a really kind of fun video for you guys today, and all the credit needs to go to Krista over at Books and Jams because she came up with this super unique idea of recommending a book based upon what coffee mugs you have and kind of tying that together, which I thought was adorable and super fun. And I actually ended up finding some books I haven't looked at in quite a while doing this. So I have 10 mugs because I have a problem. I really like coffee mugs. Now, I didn't start drinking coffee, it was even after my third child was born. Like, it took a while for me to appreciate the amazingness that comes with a great cup of coffee. So since then, I have gone on a bit of a, yeah, I just find coffee cups like everywhere and I love them. I'm the only one in my house that drinks it. So the fact that I have more than 10 is probably a little excessive, but I don't even care. I don't care. So we'll go with, I think, showing mugs and then talking about books. So first mug I have is the one I actually used today. This one I think I got at Target. Did I get this at Target? I think so, but it's just a really fun, simple black and white plaid. My friend Victoria from Victoria Marie, she's a scrapbook YouTuber, also has this mug, so I feel like, I mean, we just have really great taste. So I think of her often when I see this mug, but I also think of like fall or autumn settings whenever I'm using this, even though I use it year round. So that one had me pick up Leanne Moriarty's The Last Anniversary, strictly because of the fall looking tree on it. I've read a number of Leanne Moriarty's books. I have yet to pick this one up, which I need to get to. It's not that long. And I like the way she writes. I feel like I get through her books really, really quickly. So this one follows Sophie Honeywell. She always wondered if Thomas Gordon was the one who got away. He was the perfect boyfriend, but on the day that he was going to propose, she broke his heart. So a year later, he married his travel agent, while Sophie has been mortifyingly single ever since. Now Thomas is back in her life because Sophie has unexpectedly inherited her Aunt Connie's house, home of the famously unsolved Monroe baby mystery. Sophie moves onto the island that they live, begins a new life as part of an unconventional family where it seems everyone has a secret. Leanne Moriarty is like the queen of secrets. I'm already in. So I gotta get to this one. I feel like it gets lost on my, I think I even had it on my yellow shelf and it was like way over to the side. So I need to get on that one. Okay, now where do we go? Where do you guys want to go? How about, let's go here. Next coffee cup I grabbed was from Ruby Falls. Oh, hi Snickers. This was a place we went when we were in Tennessee. We were in Chattanooga and we visited Ruby Falls. It's a waterfall that's hundreds of feet under the ground of Lookout Mountain. So I picked up a coffee cup from there. I love it because it looks like it's that galvanized metal, but it's not. It's ceramic. So I like the look of it. Reminds me of Ruby Falls. We had a great time on that vacation, and that's in Tennessee. So the book I'm going to pair is a book set in Tennessee. I'm not sure where we're going. Oh, we're done. So Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. I'm sure you've heard me talk about this book a number of times, but it follows what happened at the Tennessee Children's Home Society that Georgia Tann was in charge of, where she basically stole kids to then adopt them out to richer families. Tragic story, but this has dual timelines. Fantastic historical fiction, follows along with what truly happened pretty well. You can't help but fall in love with these characters. It's amazing. If you haven't already listened to me and picked up that book, do it now. Now. Next up, we're gonna go with one of my favorite mugs. I bought this when we were in, I think, Washington, DC, but I didn't pick a book in DC. I love it because it looks like a library card. I think the camera's picking that up. But yeah, it looks like an old library card. So I picked up a book set in a library, which I know I just talked about this one not that long ago, but whatever. Lions of Fifth Avenue by Fiona Davis. So this book follows dual timelines. So we have 1913 where we have Laura Lyons is married to the superintendent of the New York Public Library. They live in the apartment within the grand building. They have 2 kids. Life is wonderful until she applies to the Columbia Journalism School, and she kind of starts getting into the women's suffrage movement and starts writing pieces along the way as she gets more involved with that. And then we have 80 years later, 1993, Sadie struggles with the legacy of her grandmother, who is Laura, and she gets a job as a curator at the New York Public Library, and the exhibit that she's trying to put together, all of a sudden some of the pieces start to go missing. There's a bit of a mystery involved. Not sure how it will all come together. Don't care. It takes place at the New York Public Library. I'm sold. Next up, we're just gonna go randomly. I have a coffee cup that a really dear friend gave to me, and it says a book a day keeps reality away, and it has a unicorn on it, and it's purple on the inside. Love this cup. So it immediately made me think of a fantasy, because what better way to get away from reality, especially since there's a unicorn on the cover, or on the cup. So I picked off my shelf. This is actually part of the Advent books that I got. I believe Sarah gave this to me. A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I've been seeing this in a lot of places lately, and I'm like, I know it's not new, so maybe like the next ones in the series are coming out. All I know is Sarah says I need to read it. So let's figure out what it's about. So Prince Ren, the heir to Emberfall, is cursed, forced to repeat the autumn of his 18th year over and over. He can only be freed if a girl truly falls for him, and after so many failures, his kingdom and its people are barely holding on. So then we have Harper's life has never been easy, but she's learned to be tough enough to survive the streets of Washington, D.C. Ooh, I like that. When she's sucked into Ren's world, nothing is as it seems. Powerful forces are standing against Emberfall, and it will take more than a broken curse to save it from utter ruin. But again, I've heard really great things about it, so that needs to get moved up on the list. The next cup I have is just a simple initial, you know, Lindsey's little library, lots of L's. Another, I think one of the kids get me this either for Christmas or Mother's Day or something like that. But I like that one, so I picked up a book that starts with the letter L. So we have Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Cordova. This one says, it hits me like a cold wave. I can choose to not have a death day, can't I? For the longest time, I feared this magic would get loose, and now it has. Everyone keeps telling me that this is a normal part of being a bruja. I don't know what that is. That I can't stop this from happening. And after the first time, I wonder, what if I can? It says an update on Alice in Wonderland and Dante's Inferno. Very creepy, very magical, very necessary. I just love this cover. I think I got this at BookCon like a long time ago. Still intrigued by it. All right, what do we want to do next? Okay, next one I have another one. I think Matt got me this one. It says, today's goal, keep the tiny humans alive. There, keep the tiny humans alive. You know, gotta set your standards, right? So for that one, I thought it would be appropriate to pick up Class Mom by Lori Gelman to go with that. I've heard this is funny, a funny take on moms and how they are involved in their kids' lives. So we have Jen Dixon, not your typical class mom. She's a little older. She already has 2 college-aged daughters, and she's kind of going through things again with her son Max, who is 5. It sounds super funny. I'm sure she takes things with a grain of salt, and she meets some crazy moms. I'm hoping so. I've heard great things about it, but this one is what I paired with. I feel like she'd be the mom to be like, you know, let's just keep the humans alive and we'll be good. I just feel like that. The next one I have is a Central Perk mug. My friend got this for me. Her and I are friends fanatics. Love that show. So of course we have to have a Central Perk mug. And it's huge, so sometimes I use this for soup. But since Central Perk is located in New York City, I picked up a book located in New York City. So this is The Appearance of Annie Van Sinderen by Catherine Howe. This takes place in New York City. It says it's July in New York City, and aspiring filmmaker Wes Ackerman has just arrived to start his summer term at NYU. While shooting a seance at a psychic's in the East Village, he meets a mysterious, intoxicatingly beautiful girl named Anne. As they start spending time together, Wes finds himself falling for her, drawn to her rose petal lips and her entrancing glow. There's just something about her that he can't put his finger on, something far away and otherworldly that compels him to fall even deeper. Annie's from the city, and yet she seems just as out of place as Wes feels. Lost in the chaos of the busy city streets, she's been searching for something, a missing ring. And now Annie is running out of time and needs Wes's help. As they search together, Annie and Wes uncover secrets lurking around every corner, secrets that will reveal the truth of Annie's dark past. So, I just love this cover too. Like, how cool is that? So that's my New York book. Okay. Now what? Now we're down to like my 3 favorite coffee cups of all time. I don't know which one. We'll go with this one first. So this one, I of course paid a ridiculous amount of money for when I went and saw Hamilton, but it has been like my all-time favorite musical ever. So I got a cup that says wait for it. It has Hamilton on the side and inside the bottom as well. It's a little smaller, doesn't normally fit all my cup of joe that I require in the morning, but definitely worth it. So love this book. So of course I'm gonna pair it with Hamilton and Peggy by L.M. Eliot. I think this is a YA about the relationship that Peggy Schuyler had with Alexander Hamilton and the family. So, I mean, that was just a given, just a given. All right, next one I have is a compilation of a whole bunch of quotes from Schitt's Creek. So we have, of course, like, ew, David. My favorite one is, I'm trying very hard not to connect with people right now. Best wishes, warmest regards. My best to Bob Cratchit. All the good Schitt's Creek quotes are on this one, which I'm like, okay, what book would be close to Schitt's Creek? And when I think of Schitt's Creek, I think of the dynamic between David and Alexis and the like hate to love that they both share. So I thought about hate to love within the Honeymooners and Christina Lauren. I know this might be a stretch, but just go with me. So we have Olive and we have Ethan. And Olive is best or maid of honor in a wedding. Ethan is the best man in the wedding. Of course, I think it's Ethan's brother's getting married to Olive's best friend. Well, everybody at this wedding eats from a buffet except for Olive and Ethan, who cannot stand each other, by the way. And everybody gets food poisoning. And so the bride and groom insist that Olive and Ethan take their honeymoon to Hawaii and kind of go in place of them. They can't pass it up, even though they can't stand each other. The banter is hilarious. The relationship is hilarious. It's a fantastic read. You'll fly through this one. Highly, highly encourage that one. And then my last coffee cup is probably my favorite. It says, please go away, I'm reading. I don't know how many Instagram pictures I've taken with this coffee cup, how many times I've tried to like show this to my family and will them to go away because I'm reading. And most of the time when I want them to go away because I'm reading, it's because I'm reading some sort of thriller mystery book. So the book I picked for this one is The Lookalike by Erica Spindler. I've been seeing this around places, and again, I had it kind of tucked away in a corner and kind of forgot that I had it. So this one follows Sienna. She grew up with a not so great past. It sounds like her mother was murdered at one point, and so she ended up leaving. She now has to come back to this area. She goes back to this house that still sounds like belongs to her to kind of clean up. I don't know, settle things. Not sure why she's coming back. But she's always had this idea that the target was really her and not her mom. And now that she's back at this house and back in this town, it appears that the killer has now returned and trying to come after her. I'm not sure where it's going to go. I don't want to know any more than that. You guys know me. I usually don't look at all, but I'm going to give you something, right? So I'm thinking this is a book that would go perfect with my Please Go Away I'm Reading mug, because I'm probably going to need people to go away so I can finish reading this. But those are my 10 mugs with my 10 books that I think pair quite nicely together. And yeah, I just want to thank Krista for putting this together. I think it was a really fun thing to do, a fun thing to realize I have way too many coffee mugs. And I took a look at some backlist books that I had on my shelves that I haven't seen in a while. So that's always a good thing. I highly encourage you and tag you if you're interested in doing this to any of my fellow coffee, tea, hot chocolate lovers out there who have a plethora of mugs. Please film a video and show me what you have. Otherwise, comment below, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you next time.